The world is full of people who break the mold, defy the odds, and live lives that are anything but ordinary. From extraordinary physical features to mind-bending body modifications, these individuals have stunned scientists, doctors, and everyday folks alike. In this video, we'll count down 15 unique people you won't believe actually exist. Number 15, Rodrigo Alves. Rodrigo Alves, who is now Jessica Alves, gained notoriety across the world after having one of the most spectacular series of cosmetic procedures ever recorded. To get a Ken doll look, Rodrigo, who was born in Brazil and grew up in London, first spent more than $1 million on more than 70 cosmetic surgeries, such as repeated nose jobs, jaw reconstruction, six-pack implants, and rib reductions. Deep identity issues and bodily dysmorphia were the core causes of this preoccupation with perfection, which went beyond simple vanity. Jessica frequently made appearances on talk programs, reality TV, and red carpets, captivating the attention of the global media. Number 14, Isabel Varley. Isabel Varley defied all expectations of what it meant to age gracefully by using ink. On a dare, Isabel got her first tattoo aged 49, when many people think they should slow down. However, what began as a one-time gesture became into a passion for life. She achieved the Guinness World Record for the most tattooed senior citizen female, after covering more than 93% of her body with colorful tattoos throughout the years, from head to toe. People all throughout the world were awed and inspired by her body, which was a living gallery of tales, symbolism, and personal artwork. Isabel's spirit made a bigger impression than her tattoos. She often went to tattoo conventions, posed for photographers, and gave public speeches on her passion for body art and the value of pursuing your passions at any age. Her presence dispelled ageist preconceptions and demonstrated the timeless nature of self-expression. Although she passed away in 2015, she is still revered in the tattoo world as a representation of bold individualism. Number 13, Eric Sprague. Body alteration was taken to a whole new level by Eric Sprague, sometimes known as the Lizard Man. Eric, who was formerly a philosophy student, turned himself into something genuinely remarkable before leaving university to pursue a career in performance art. He has had drastic changes such as sharper teeth, a split tongue, subdermal implants above his eyes, and elongated earlobes, and his entire body is tattooed in a green scale pattern to resemble a reptile. Eric saw his metamorphosis as an artistic statement and a means of living true to himself, even if it took years and several painful surgeries. As a public speaker and sideshow performer, Eric questions what people consider to be normal. In addition to shocking people, he aims to elicit deeper reflection on identity, art, and individual freedom when he performs at tattoo conventions, freak shows, and media appearances. His narrative is a celebration of accepting one's individuality in a society that frequently encourages uniformity, not just one of shock value. Number 12, Dennis Avner. Dennis Avner, popularly known as Stalking Cat, continues to be one of the most severe body alteration cases in contemporary history. Dennis related strongly with the tiger and made it his life's work to physically represent the animal after being inspired by Native American mysticism and totemic beliefs. He changed his face and physique into a feline one by undergoing a number of drastic procedures, such as facial tattoos, pointed ears, split upper lips, whisker implants, and teeth contouring. In order to give his face a more animalistic shape, silicone was injected beneath his skin, and his eyes were altered to resemble cats. Dennis had a spiritual metamorphosis in addition to a physical one. He claimed that he wished to live as near to the animal he had the strongest connection to as possible in order to honor it. Dennis talked candidly about his views, challenges, and motivations for going through such significant changes, despite the fact that his lifestyle attracted a lot of media attention that was sometimes sensationalized and misinterpreted. However, he left behind a dialogue about individual identity, the boundaries of self-expression, and how society responds to people who dare to appear and live differently. His life ended tragically in 2012, presumably by suicide. Number 11. Amber Luke. Amber Luke, often referred to as the blue-eyed white dragon, has gained widespread notoriety for her drastic and unrepentant bodily changes. Amber, an Australian, has more than 200 tattoos, many body piercings, and drastic changes, including eyeball tattooing and split tongue surgery, the latter of which rendered her momentarily blind for 3 weeks. She has a loyal fan following and a lot of detractors because of her unusual and otherworldly appearance, which includes rainbow-colored hair and ice blue tattooed eyeballs. Amber has been vocal about her struggles with mental health, particularly her early years of depression and low self-esteem. She explains that body modification allows her to regain control over her body and heal via self-expression. Rather than seeking recognition, she examines accepted norms and suggests what beauty may be via her transformation. Despite online hate and abuse, Amber keeps growing her business, attending tattoo expos and advocating for radical acceptance and mental health awareness. Number 10. Valeria Lukyanova. Valeria Lukyanova, sometimes known as the Living Barbie, astounded everyone with her bizarre look and doll-like features. Valeria, who was born in Ukraine, became well-known online in the early 2010s because of her pale complexion, symmetrical facial features, big glassy eyes, and impossible-to-fit waist, which made her resemble a real-life Barbie doll. Valeria claims that the majority of her appearance is natural, thanks to cosmetic skills, contact lenses, and rigorous dieting, despite several accusations that she utilized extensive plastic surgery or digital alterations. Nonetheless, she admits to getting breast implants to accentuate her doll-like physique. However, Valeria's story is more complex than that. She considers herself to be spiritual and leads a peculiar life that revolves around astral projection, breatharianism, and metaphysics. Both curiosity and skepticism have been aroused by her claims to be able to interact with higher beings and to be able to survive without food by absorbing cosmic energy and sunshine. Valeria Lukyanova's bizarre life philosophy and otherworldly look continue to captivate the audience, regardless of whether she is perceived as a controversial character, spiritual experiment, or work of art. Number 9. Ekaterina. Ekaterina, who goes by Elf Girl online, has developed an ethereal identity that draws inspiration from fantasy literature. She has delicate features, big anime-style eyes, and extended ears that make her look like an elf from a fantasy role-playing game or Tolkien novel. Instead of undergoing permanent surgery, the majority of her change is cosmetic, including makeup artistry, colored lenses, and clothing. She lives her life in character, nevertheless as if her fantasies were true, complete with illuminating accessories, pointed ear prostheses, and fairy tale clothes. Ekaterina's distinctiveness lies not only in her looks, but also in the way she has centered her lifestyle around them. She posts images, films, and philosophical writings that emphasize mysticism, tranquility, and nature, qualities that are frequently connected to elves and folklore. She has a sizable internet following thanks to her appearance, particularly in the cosplay, anime, and fantasy communities. She symbolizes a gentler kind of metamorphosis that is fueled by creativity and imagination rather than surgery, obfuscating the distinction between reality and fiction. Number 8. Jyoti Amge. The Guinness World Record for the tiniest surviving woman is held by Jyoti Amge, who was born in India in 1993. Because of achondroplasia, an uncommon kind of dwarfism, Jyoti is only 2 feet and 0.6 inches, 62.8 centimeters tall, yet her influence is enormous. She never let her condition stop her, even though she was born into a world that was not made for someone her stature. She has been in talk programs, documentaries, and even American Horror Story Freak Show, where she co-starred with a number of seasoned performers. Because of her public persona, Jyoti has come to represent strength, self-assurance, and independence. She is a well-known figure in India who has inspired others with disabilities by using her platform. She has stated her desire to pursue a career in media and become a Bollywood celebrity. Her daily existence combines audacious aim with remarkable adjustments. Jyoti continues to shatter stereotypes via her talks and appearances, demonstrating that one's physical restrictions need not prevent one from leading an active and visible life. Number 7. Wim Hof. The endurance of the human body has been redefined by Wim Hof, popularly known as the Iceman. Wim, who was born in the Netherlands, gained notoriety for enduring extreme cold by wearing very little clothes. Examples of this include swimming for extended periods of time beneath ice, running a complete marathon above the Arctic Circle barefoot, and climbing Mount Kilimanjaro in shorts. Because of his achievements, he set several world records and attracted the interest of experts who were perplexed by his ability to withstand illness and cold. Wim, however, maintains that he is only a person who developed his body and intellect using his own methods and is not a superhuman. Since then, the Wim Hof method, which incorporates breathwork, meditation, and cold exposure, has gained popularity. Its unexpected effects on the immune system, neurological system, and mental clarity have been investigated. Wim emphasizes that with the right dedication and direction, anyone can develop comparable skills. Beyond the science, Wim's personal story is also quite emotional. He started cold training as a means of healing following the untimely death of his wife. He is now a well-known motivational speaker who demonstrates to millions of people how resilience can be developed literally from the inside out. Number 6, Eva Clarke. She was born with features that defied medical expectations. Ice blue eyes, snow white curls, and a vision condition that should have left her in the dark. But instead of disappearing, Eva Clarke became a beacon. Eva Clarke was born with albinism, a rare genetic condition affecting melanin production. Doctors warned her parents she might go blind by age 5, but Eva proved them wrong. Not only did she learn to see her world, she changed how the world sees beauty. By age 8, Eva had already walked in fashion shows, starred in campaigns for Vogue Italia, Denim & Supply Ralph Lauren, and graced the pages of major magazines. Her look is striking like something from a painting, yet it's entirely real. Despite having visual impairments, Eva learned to read Braille and uses large print in school. Her story is more than just photos and fashion. It's about determination and pride in who you are. What makes Eva's journey powerful is that she didn't just fit into the fashion world, she changed the shape of it. Her presence challenges the industry's narrow standards, making room for people who've never seen themselves on runways or in glossy spreads. With the love and support of her family, Eva continues to grow as a model and advocate, inspiring people of all colors and conditions to embrace their uniqueness. She reminds us all that beauty isn't about blending in, it's about standing out. Number 5, Rick Genest. The well-known zombie boy Rick Genest transformed his entire body into a spooky work of art. Rick looked like something from a horror film, covered with elaborate tattoos that mimicked skeletal formations, exposed bones, and decaying flesh. Over the course of several years, artist Frank Lewis inked the majority of his tattoos, demonstrating his complete dedication to body art. Rick gained international recognition as a result of his appearance, which included publications in magazines like GQ and Vogue, modeling assignments with well-known fashion labels, and a memorable cameo in Lady Gaga's Born This Way music video. Behind the picture, Rick was a philosopher and artist. He frequently discussed identity, death, and the profound themes of transition and mortality that he expressed via his body as a living canvas. His appearance was more than simply a performance. It was a defiance of social norms and a fearless acceptance of the macabre. Sadly, Rick died in 2018 at the age of 32. Even though his death was declared an accident, his influence endures in the tattoo and fashion industries, where he is still seen as a representation of unadulterated artistic expression and radical individualism. Number 4, Maria Jose Cristerna. Most people fear judgment. Maria Jose Cristerna turned it into power. Known around the world as the Vampire Woman, Maria is a former lawyer and domestic abuse survivor who transformed her body into a living symbol of resilience. Her fangs are real. So are the titanium horns embedded in her skull. Born in Mexico, Maria started modifying her body as a way to reclaim control after enduring years of abuse. Tattoos became armor. Piercings became symbols of strength. Her transformation wasn't about becoming scary, it was about becoming free. She now has over 90% of her body tattooed, including full facial ink, subdermal implants, and custom dental work. But her story is far deeper than appearance. She holds a law degree, is a mother of 4, and actively speaks out against domestic violence. Despite international fame, Maria stays grounded. Her message is clear: society may try to define you, but only you get to decide who you become. She travels the world giving talks, meeting fans, and representing those who've felt powerless. People may stare at her fangs or ink, but what really grabs attention is her courage. Maria Jose Cristerna didn't become a vampire to scare the world. She did it to show others how to survive it. Number 3, Rolf Buchholz. With more than 450 piercings overall, including more than 100 on his face alone, German Rolf Buchholz holds the Guinness World Record for the most piercings on a human body. In addition to his body piercings, Rolf has a split tongue, full-body tattoos, magnetic implants in his fingertips, and subdermal implants, which resemble horn-like bumps on his forehead. Some people may find his fierce appearance scary at first glance. In contrast to his wild exterior, Rolf comes out as thoughtful, soft-spoken, and quite clever in interviews. Outside of the spotlight, Rolf leads a relatively normal existence despite his drastic alterations. When he's not going to body art conferences or tattoo expos, he enjoys a steady life and works in information technology. His physique is a declaration of his individuality and dedication to change. Body alteration is a lifestyle choice that enables Rolf to express his personality in a profoundly unique way. It is not about rebellion or shock. He dispels the myth that individuals with extreme looks are like such, demonstrating that identity is far more complex than that. Number 2, Dede Koswara. Epidermodysplasia verruciformis is an extremely rare hereditary disorder that Dede Koswara, popularly known as the Tree Man, suffered from. Massive wart-like growths that resembled bark or tree roots covered his hands, feet, and other body parts as a result of this illness. These lesions covered his limbs to the point that they were almost unusable, making daily living extremely challenging. When images and films showed the startling severity of Dede's illness, his situation garnered international attention. Dede had treatment from doctors all over the world, and after several operations, more than 13 pounds of growths were removed from his body. He was able to use his hands somewhat again and began leading a more typical life for a while. Regretfully, the illness reappeared, and Dede died in 2016. However, his narrative helped bring attention to this little-known ailment and to those who suffer from uncommon and crippling illnesses throughout the world. Dede Koswara became a symbol of human tenacity because of his bravery in the face of unfathomable adversity. Number 1, Mandy Sellars. An unusual medical ailment that Mandy Sellars was born with led her legs to grow out of proportion to the rest of her body. Her illness was once believed to be a kind of Proteus syndrome, but it was eventually determined to be caused by a genetic abnormality called PIK3CA. In addition to physical difficulties, Mandy experienced social exclusion, bullying, and close medical monitoring from an early age. Her illness worsened despite several operations, including the amputation of one leg, to the point where the dismembered limb started to grow again. Instead of allowing her illness to define her, Mandy rose to prominence as a public speaker and advocate. She has shared her journey to raise awareness and foster empathy for those with uncommon conditions in a number of films. She has become a symbol of courage and self-acceptance because of her optimism, sense of humor, and unwillingness to be pitied. Mandy continues to inspire people all over the world by demonstrating that dignity, bravery, and independence are always achievable despite all obstacles, not by acting as though her situation is simple. Whether it's the power of individual expression, the tenacity of the human spirit, or the secrets of biology, each of these people stands for something deep. They force us to reconsider identity, attractiveness, and normalcy. These 15 exceptional individuals serve as a reminder that, in a society that frequently encourages conformity, being unusual can also make one memorable.